The evening before the 1981 Mr. Olympia, he felt he wasn't cut up enough. So he wrapped his entire body in green plastic garbage bags, and looking like a corpse, he attempted to lose a bit more weight. He even tried to sleep in his makeshift sweat gear. Periodically, he purees a pound of raw liver in a blender, and without a wince, he drinks it down. It's great for building mass, and it doesn't taste half bad, he says with a straight face. Routinely, he'll do 50 to 60 total sets per muscle group, averaging 25 to 30 reps per set. Often, he breaks bodybuilding rules and trains a lagging body part only once a week. He has evolved a series of resistance exercises that can only be described as unusual. One includes several pulley movements that he does hanging by his ankles. To cut up, he regularly eats 6 to 8 pineapples and little else per day. More often than not, he'll arise in the middle of the night, stalk over his refrigerator, and wolf down food. Then he falls right back to sleep. It's for the mass, you know, he explains. Johnny Fuller, as the proceeding might indicate, is a tad eccentric. If not that, at the least, he's unconventional. In reality, he's fully mastered the Weider instinctive training principle and taken it to the 9th degree in his workouts and diet. Giant Johnny knows exactly how his body will respond to almost any external stimulus, and when he competes, this becomes obvious to the viewer, who can see Fuller's massive granite-hard physique with its roadmap of veins traversing his perfectly proportioned body. It's obvious that as bizarre as some of his bodybuilding methods might appear, Johnny Fuller, Mr. Universe, knows what's best for him. The Weider instinctive training principle is the key to success for all champion bodybuilders, but it's not easily mastered. It takes a year, and often as many as 3 or 4, of carefully monitoring biofeedback signals. One must constantly be cognizant of the interrelationships between bodybuilding principles and nutrition techniques, and the body's response to them to master instinctive training completely. But once that occurs, the principle becomes invaluable to a champion bodybuilder. In his own case, Fuller has included in his overall bodybuilding training philosophy lessons he learned during the extensive involvement in track and field, boxing, and karate. The information he obtained from these sports, combined with an intensive study of nutrition, flavored by his Caribbean heritage and the Weider principles of training, has led Johnny in the directions unexplored by run-of-the-mill bodybuilders. Moreover, these methods have made Fuller, at 5 foot 6.5 inches, a 196-pound chunk of bodybuilding granite. They can therefore hardly be called eccentric training methods. Johnny Fuller, at 39, born in Jamaica, he left that island for England in 1961 to seek a better future. He has held many jobs since then, but currently delights in being a full-time professional bodybuilder who will occasionally moonlight as a bodyguard. Fuller is the quintessential natural athlete. As a runner, he was schoolboy champion in the 100 and 200 meter sprints. Later, he took up the challenge of the marathon, 26 miles, 385 yards. After training for only a few weeks and weighing what for marathon runners his height was a massive 175 pounds. Johnny ran his first marathon in under 3 hours, indeed a credible performance. Johnny also boxed professionally for 6 years. I was very good, he recalls. I firmly believe that if I could have obtained a good manager, I would one day have won the world championship. I lost only one fight in over 30, and that was a disputed decision. Eventually, it became clear to me that I would never find the manager I needed, so I abandoned boxing and took up karate for 5 years. Again, I did quite well, eventually winning a 3rd-degree black belt, as well as being crowned champion at several karate tournaments. It never seems to matter what sport I try, because I have a good competitive mind, and I'm willing to work harder than anyone to succeed. The day Fuller first touched a weight, he was 25 and weighed 147 pounds. Initially, he began weight training to aid his boxing, then kept at it sporadically 10 years or so before getting serious about powerlifting. At this point, he weighed only 181 pounds, but with little training, squatted 615 pounds, bench pressed 415 pounds, and deadlifted 600 pounds. Johnny didn't get serious about becoming a competitive bodybuilder until early 1978. True to his usual approach, however, he took to the sport wholeheartedly. Within 6 months, he was competing on the English team in the IFBB Mr. Universe show in Acapulco. Tom Platz won in Johnny's class that year, but Fuller did end up in a three-way tie for 5th place. The two men with whom he tied, Andreas Culling and Jacques Nouveau, incidentally, have also become successful in international bodybuilding. In 1979, at Columbus, Johnny won the prestigious Mr. International title, then shocked and amused the audience by wearing a silver bowl that Arnold Schwarzenegger presented him as a helmet. Obviously, the Fuller sense of humor was catching up with the Fuller physique. During this period, Johnny won such titles as Mr. Europe, Mr. Britain, Mr. United Kingdom, and a raft of other lesser British championships, and by 1980, he had become the man in British amateur bodybuilding circles. He accomplished this by defeating the great American champion Bronston Austin Jr. at the 1980 IFBB Mr. Universe Championships in Manila. After turning professional, Fuller has become one of the most consistent competitors on the circuit. He has been in the top 5 and as high as 3rd in virtually every professional show since the latter part of 1980, and only placed 7th in his first Mr. Olympia competition last year. Undaunted by the showing, Fuller takes pride in placing higher than any other first-year entrant in the last Olympia. I asked Fuller about his unique style of training. I train 6 days per week, doing 2 body parts each day. All year round, I do my calves and abdominals more frequently. Double splits don't seem to work well for me because I tend to burn off too much body weight. I do 30 to 60 total sets per body part, depending on how fast and heavy I'm training. Normally, I devote 1 or 2 hours of my training to each body part, not actually counting the total sets. Ordinarily, I do 25 to 30 repetitions because I found that low reps simply don't work for me. I don't usually do supersets, but 1 week before a contest, I'll go that route, just for the final hardness I need in my physique. The last week, I also jog around 3 miles every morning. During the final month or two, I will use the Weider continuous tension and peak contraction training principles for further muscle hardness. Using these techniques and eating plenty of pineapple and white meat make it relatively easy for me to get cut up. My style of training is very painful, but I revel in that pain. Pain is the best indication that your training is successful. Joe Weider was absolutely right when he coined the maxim, no pain, no gain. That is my personal motto. To illustrate how he trains, Johnny Fuller gave me the following sample back routine. 1. Seated pulley rows, 5 or 6 sets of 25 to 30 repetitions. 2. Barbell bent rows, 5 to 6 sets, 25 to 30 repetitions. 3. T-bar rows, 5 to 6 sets, 26 to 30 repetitions. Bent lateral raises, 5 to 6 sets, 25 to 30 repetitions. One-arm dumbbell rows, 5 to 6 sets, 25 to 30 repetitions. Johnny says he also does one secret exercise, again, for 5 to 6 sets of 25 to 30 reps. Your guess is as good as mine as to what the exercise might be, but you can rule out chins. I have high lower lat attachments amidst Johnny Giant, and chinning tends to shorten my lats even further, so whenever I work my lats, I go for thickness exclusively, and on every set, I consciously think the movement into my lower lats. I always try to use heavy weights and good form for all my back movements. Indeed, good form for all exercises. During each set, I go for maximum burn in working muscles. Ultimately, I strive for a full pump in the muscles I have trained each day. Johnny claims his diet is a secret he doesn't want his Olympian competitors to learn, but a few hints about what he eats leaked out during our conversation. I must take in huge amounts of carbohydrate when I'm building up my muscle mass, he told me. I eat a lot of pineapple before a show, and I try to eat as much white meat as I can. Raw liver is also superb for building muscle mass. I use large amounts of food supplements year-round, not just before a competition like many Olympians do. I use a lot of vitamins and minerals because they help me assimilate protein, and protein assimilation is the bottom line when it comes to building quality muscle. Sometimes, when I'm on a mass building cycle, I'll even get up in the middle of the night and have a protein drink. Over the years, Bill Pearl, gentleman bodybuilder and four-time Mr. Universe, has been Johnny Fuller's greatest inspiration, but now that he's been in Olympia competition, the crowd at each contest motivates him. I simply love being on stage and having people applaud my efforts, Johnny says. That turns me on more than anything else in bodybuilding. I love the public, and they seem to love me as well. It's a good give and take relationship, and I always try to show them something new. Believe me, the bodybuilding public is in for a big surprise from Johnny Fuller this year. I have plenty of room for improvement, and I plan to win the Olympia.